Well, guys, I've actually done it for you today. What we've got is we have a $3.95 Husqvarna. Now, we're probably not going to get into this one. This one runs. But I also have two other and two carcass, just a crankcase and a cylinder. All of those are $3.95. So I'm going to try to take one of the others, and we're just going to swap plastics on it, put a choke linkage on it, nothing major. And we're going to try to dress it up and make it look like this other one right here. Let's see if we can do it. Alright guys, so here is the other one. As you can tell, it's a little dirty. Decompression valve is bent, so I have to swap it out with one. That's missing some fins, but it's not a big issue. And over on this side, it looks decent. It's missing the guide plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a part saw and start stripping parts off of it, out of the carcasses, and see what we can come up with as far as getting this one back right. See, it's missing the choke right there. So I'll be back with the parts that I think I need, which probably will never be enough. Well, so what I've done is I actually come over here and I just brought one of these $3.95 carcasses, and we're just going to take parts off it as we need to go on this one. It's a lot easier when it's sitting right here beside of you. So we'll start with the simple stuff like the rubber. We'll pull it off. Well, it needs a choke linkage, so we got a choke linkage now. Need a decomp, and I'm going to work on getting it pulled out. I don't know why I have a hammer on the bench, but stranger things happen. I'm thinking I can pull the decomp with a dadgum old bar wrench. Come in here, unloosen the screw holding the filter on, because we're going to have to take the filter off, take the top cover off to change the decomp button. Of course, my screech is too big, so we'll just use a screwdriver. So we already know we need a choke linkage. So what we'll do is we'll take the choke lever, go ahead and insert it into Should be able to twist it and get it in there. Now the choke works. You just come right around when you put the choke linkage in and just twist. And it when you get it lined up with the hole, you twist and it'll go in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick you up, set you up here, and let you watch this. Get you out of my tripod. All right, so what we got is this choke linkage setting, if I can find it, right here. So what we're gonna do is just turn this like this. All right, turn, pops right in the hole, and there it is, working choke. And I hope I got that on video. Well, guys, it breaks my heart to do this, but I can't find an adjuster on either one of the two carcasses. So we'll just set this thing in the floor. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull up yet another 395. And we're gonna take it and pull the adjuster out to put in this other one. And we're gonna take the guide plate too. You gotta take that little piece of plastic there out. It's what's supposed to keep the bolt from coming out. Supposed to. Hell, I may just have to screw through that, because I guess it's solid. I thought it was. I thought it had actually had like a notch in it, but apparently it's a solid piece. So we're just going to pull it out of this one, and I'll probably buy another one of these to put back in this one, but this one's going to require a little bit of work. It doesn't even have any compression. So we're just going to take the adjuster out of this and put in to the other 395. And then later I'm going to put a big bore cylinder, probably from Highway, on this one. Just because it has no compression. So we'll just take that out. Yeah, it's solid all the way. You just thread through. But that's no big deal. So now we'll take this and set it back in the floor, and then set the other one back up here. Now we'll start off by taking that little piece of rubber, put it in there. Take this screw, the adjuster screw. And just get it started. I wish I remembered which direction this thing come out, either like this or like this. I can't remember. Probably need to go back and look through the video again. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a bar off the wall, set a bar up on it, and see which way that that little point needs to go to line up with the hole in the bar. I'm not very smart about that, I don't guess. So if it's there, and if I put this up here like this, see it lines up at the bottom. So we're gonna run the screw on in. And thread into that pin. And next we'll put the plate on, the guide plate. After we wipe it down, get it clean on both sides. And this one's had a little rough life. She's got a little bit stuck up right here. So what I'm gonna do with that is take that, I guess that claw hammer, I'm gonna lay this bar in my lap and just pin that back out flat. So I'll angle you down here. Just like that, good as new. So now we'll put it back on. Well, not back on because it didn't come off of this one. Take the screw, I actually probably need to get my blue Loctite out and Loctite this screw in. More than likely. And we'll hang my bar back up. Oh, and that's a filter for 3120. Air filter cover for 3120. And a recoil starter for 3120. I would have put some videos of that particular saw and reworking it on, but all I've ever had is trouble with it. Every time I touch something, it breaks. And it's just an ongoing thing. And I've had that 3120 sitting here on the bench for probably off and on in between when I could find something that I could repair and getting parts for the 3120, and it's just something all the time with it. And I guess I'm about ready to get it buttoned back up so I can send it on back home. So now we've got where that's wallered out. You can see it's out of round. I don't really want to use it. So I just pull the screw out of it. Yeah, maybe pull the screw out of it. Maybe easier said than done. And I'll just take this top cover and put it in my maybe pile, and maybe I'll use it on something at a later date. We don't want to put it back on. So now I'll go get I'll go get another one for $3.95. And we'll just slip this one on. Plug wire goes around, goes over that notch, and then plug goes on. It's always a good idea to save screws, because now I needed this one, so we'll take it and put it in. If it'll even take thread, which it don't want to take thread. And the sad thing is, that's the screw that come out of here. And that one also does not want to take thread. So what we're going to do, I guess, is to have to give up on that and it looks like use a whole completely different chassis just because the screw holes are stripped out. Or carb box. We may just go ahead and just swap the carb box. No, it'll be the chassis. I can see in here where these are, the screws actually thread into the chassis and not the carb box. And so we'll just have to use another, chassis. So I may end up using this particular chassis that I stole the primer off of, the decompression valve from. So I guess that's where we set on that one. Either that or to run oversized screws, which I'm okay with doing that too. I'll take this top cover back off and I'll inspect it pretty good, and then I'll get right back with you. All right, so what I come up with is I'm gonna run the same old screw that was on the other. I'm gonna run it, it's oversized, and there's already threads cut into the housing. And we'll just completely forget about this other one over here for the time being. I just kind of want to make it look good. I mean, it's not like it's going to affect much, because your air filter has a clamp that goes onto the air horn, and it's got the air injection, so it also runs air from the flywheel, takes part of it. Instead of cooling with all of it, we'll run it up to the bottom where the air filter is in the big hole. I'll show you. I'll flip this thing over on its side and show you what I'm talking about. Or I might get the carcass up out of the floor over here and show you. Then the air compressor has to kick on, so it gets loud in here. I'm gonna get a Phillips screwdriver out and then tighten this screw up front, which the other cover didn't even have the screw in it. And you can see it for the handle in the way. We're going to tighten it down and tighten this one over here down. Then we're going to reinstall the air filter, which, see, it's got a band clamp on it. Gets a little dirty. And really, I want to spin this around. That way I can tighten and loosen from the back side instead of having to worry about having to do it from the right underneath of where it was sitting at, because I think I would rather do it from this side like this. This makes it a lot easier to see the screw and to get a screwdriver on, just like that. And then the air filter is attached. And then next we're just going to take the air filter cover, pop it on. And I hope I didn't, but I did. I lost the clip, so I guess y'all get to laugh at me some more. So I gotta take this thing back loose again, raise this up enough to put this clip back in. Well, we can clip the filter cover on, which it doesn't really matter because the filter's sealed to the air horn, which is sealed to the carburetor. I mean, it's perfectly fine to run it like it is. I mean, that's my opinion. Let's see if we can't move this thing up just enough to get this daggum thing back in there. Just hooks in. I mean, there's no magic to it. It's about like that. Then we'll just tighten this down over here, and I'll probably find another bolt like this one over here, and we'll just swap the other one, just rethread it, and if I can get it to take thread. So we'll just tighten this dude up. Put the other filter cover on. Make sure you take this tab and go down in front of the spark plug with it, and then go down. Snap all 4 of those tabs on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray it back down with brake parts cleaner one more time and wipe everything down real good, all the plastics. And in theory, it should look like almost new. I mean, like I said, you can't get the character out of them. They're always going to have the character. And really, I don't want to take all the character away. But if you've seen the air filter cover that was on this, you would understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because this thing's had a hard life. And I may have an air filter cover that's closer to the same color orange. I don't know. And of course I do not. So there's a little dress up work. We put a new choke lever in, put a new another decompression on, swap the top cover and the air cleaner cover. So now we'll take this thing, which is fairly clean, we'll take it, set it down in the floor, and then we'll start working on the clutch cover. The clutch cover that I'm going to put on here, that I'm going to run on here. We'll tighten that screw up here. And this is a 2017 chassis, which I don't know if it makes a lick of difference on anything. I'm gonna see if my other recoil starters have a screw, so I can put an extra screw in there. And believe it or not, I do. I have an extra screw. And I probably should swap this swap the recoil covers out, because this one is in a lot better shape than the other one. I probably should swap them out, but I probably won't, because that's still a good recoil cover. Well, there's almost a dressed up $3.95. Now all I got left to do is to take this, clean it up. So I have to get another can of brake cleaner, which is all right because I buy it by the case. Let it soak in there real good. And I'm probably going to have to buy some bar nuts because I do not have any bar nuts for this thing. It is what it is. The thing about it is right now, I know what it is, I just don't have them. I'm gonna take my screwdriver here and just kind of loosen up some of this that I sprayed. Probably gonna need a new piece of rubber, another chip deflector. But from what I can figure out from the time that I started working on these things is there's always something you find out that you need and you don't have it. Well, it's just like working on anything. You start out the gate strong, and then you figure out, well, I no longer have that, or I didn't get that, or I mean, there's a whole series of things that can happen. So now we'll just take this and pour it out. Come in here with our rag and wipe everything out. Try to keep everything clean. So I like things to go together cleaner than they come apart. It just seems to work out better for me in the long run. Which when I decide to do my big bore $3.95, I'll have to buy another clutch cover anyhow because I'm out. This is the only one I've got left extra. We'll take the other side and we'll spray it down too. And right there where she's a little tough, I'm just going to take my screwdriver and go to scraping. And I really do. I truly want to tell Gary that I really appreciate him giving me these part saws. And it does. It helps out a lot. So I told Gary that I bought three $3.95s, and he said, and I said they need some parts, and he said just hold up about buying anything until you come out here and see what I've got. So I didn't order anything. I haven't done anything. I went out yesterday afternoon and visited with him for a while, and yeah, he was nice enough to load me up with all kinds of stuff. And some of the things I probably won't ever get to use, but some of it I probably will. So, and those are loose, so I have to get my Allen wrench set, or a Allen wrench set or something to tighten up those screws. But I think what I'm gonna do, yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and tighten them up. I'll go ahead and tighten up those screws, because this is about as far as I can go without having bar nuts. And I really don't want to steal from another saw laying around here to get bar nuts off of. So I'll just end up buying a couple bar nuts, or probably 3 or 4, and just keep them around handy like. So I mean, you can lose them things pretty easy. They'll vibrate loose, and lose them out in the field, all kinds of things. So until I get the bar nuts for it, I guess we're pretty much done with it. But I'll take it and set it up there. And so this is a 3120 clutch. Yeah, I thought I might have had some bar nuts like up here, but I don't. So I'll just have to buy some bar nuts. No big deal. It's one of those things. So we'll spray her down once more with brake cleaner, and just make sure all of it's all cleaned up and degreased. And every time you clean on it, you'll start seeing the color change and get brighter and brighter and brighter. So this is another $3.95, almost complete, just lacking the bar nuts. I appreciate you watching. If you don't care, could you give me a thumbs up? Thank you. Well, guys, I am terribly sorry. I have done you dirty. So after I put the choke linkage in, I found out that all the video after that I shot was upside down when I was putting the decompression valve in. So I guess I'm gonna take this carcass sitting over here and or this other, probably just take the carcass. I'll probably take one of these carcasses and I'll pull the thing apart. I'll dig out of the scrap bucket the decompression valve I just throwed in there, and I'll just show you how to put one in. And I mean, and end of the day, it's not rocket science. So I'll just put this bad one in this carcass. It's got the same result. It's just, I'm not going to tear the top cover back off of that one just to put the old one back in it, to take the one that I swapped it out with back in it again. It just kind of defeats the whole purpose here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the old one that was bent, that I wasn't very happy with, take it and put it in this old carcass that I was stealing parts off of, which is going to yield the same result as it would be if I went back and tore everything back apart just to put it back together, the same way it's sitting now. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera back to the bench and put this bent one back in. Put it in this old part saw. So where the threads are, you take your decompression valve and you just start threading. And it may not take thread just easy. You may have to fight with it a little. But you start it. Get it tightened down fairly good. Come in with your screens. Just because I know this fits it. And it's the same size that fits Husky bar nuts and Echo. You just take it and just start twisting. And there you go. You got an installed decompression. I'm sorry about cutting all the video out of where the saw was upside down. But like I said, I see no reason tearing it back apart just to put that one in to pull it back out, when I can do the same thing and demonstrate with this one.